Good evening, students. We'll discuss this paper today, what was there of the NEET 2020. All right, let's start. First one, it says match the following columns over there. Now, if you observe there, carbon monoxide, we all know that's a neutral oxide. Barium oxide, that's a basic oxide. Alumina, that's amphoteric. And Cl2O7, that's dichlorine heptoxide, that's nothing but an acidic oxide. So here, if I have to talk in this category, the first one, answer is 2 there. So for the 46, answer is 2. That's 1. Then next we go now over here. The following metal that activates many enzymes participates in the oxidation of glucose to produce ATP with sodium, responsible for the transmission of nerve signals. That's the word to catch. That's in S block what we have. That's nothing but potassium. Okay, so 47 is 4. 48, number of Faraday is required to produce 20 grams of calcium from molten calcium chloride. I've solved this. I'm just showing you the solution. Observe this part. Now, 48, if I say calcium chloride, as you rightly see, we all know it's divalent. So equivalent weight is going to be 20 grams. That's 1 gram equivalent, which is 1 Faraday. So if it is 1 Faraday over here, we can say this answer for 48 is going to be 1. So 48 is 1 part. Then next we have 49th one. It says which of the following alkane cannot be made in good yield. Now here the answer is very simple. That answer is going to be nothing but N-heptane. Why? Wurtz reaction is basically a coupling reaction. So two similar alkyl groups gives a higher alkane with even number of carbon atoms. So N-hexane will be with 2 N-propyl groups. 2,3 dimethyl butane will be with 2 isopropyl groups. N-butane will be with 2 ethyl groups. And N-heptane, that's an odd one. So you can't prepare alkanes in with odd number of carbon atoms in good yield. That's the word. You can prepare if I take 2 different alkyl halides where we get a mixture of 3 different alkanes. So the word is good yield to catch over there. That's why the answer is C. Then coming to the 50th one now. The 50th, it says the depression and freezing point for benzene. That's the KF value. Molality is given 0.078. They want over there nothing but the freezing point depression. That's going to be delta TF. See this part? 50th, if you observe, delta TF is KF into M. KF we have, molality we have. That answer is nothing but 0.4 Kelvin there. So 50th, that's going to be nothing but over here 0.4 Kelvin. So 50 is 3. Then next one we have elimination of 3 bromopentane to form pent-2-enus. Now if you see 3 bromopentane, now we have 3 bromopentane, already I've said the word elimination. It's beta elimination because from alpha the halogen goes, that's bromine. From beta the hydrogen will go. There are 2 separate beta, so elimination is according to Satzav's rule, what we also call as Sattu's rule. So first it is beta elimination. Why it's called beta elimination? Hydrogen is always eliminated from the beta carbon. Satzav's rule, dehydrohalogenation, removal of hydrogen and halogen from adjacent carbon atoms. That's why in this case, you will have the first one, that is A, B, and C. It can't be dehydration because that's removal of water. So 51 is 1. Then moving next, we have the 52nd one. It says write the correct option. This is very simple. Carbon monoxide and hydrogen, we all know that is the synthesis gas. Is this clear what we have? Used in the synthesis of methanol. Then temporary hardness is magnesium hydrogen carbonate and calcium hydrogen carbonate. B2H6 diborane, 2 moles of BH3 combined to give B2H6. If you recall, P block, banana bonds, that's nothing but an electron deficient molecule. And last, hydrogen peroxide, that's a non-planar structure. So for 52, if you see, that's going to be the option number 1 over there. So that's 52. Then next one, 53, which has the maximum number of atoms. Catch properly, it says atoms. Let's observe all of them. It's 1 gram silver, 1 gram magnesium, 1 gram oxygen, 1 gram lithium. So here if you observe, I've shown all the 4. Now 1 gram silver is 1 upon 108. That's the number of moles into Avogadro's number because it's the atomic mass. Same way magnesium, 1 by 24 into Avogadro's number. 1 gram O2, O2 is a molecule. So molecule to atom, so 1 by 32 number of moles into Na into atomicity, that is 2. And last is 1 gram lithium. That's 1 by 7 into Na. So here the answer will be lithium. So for 53, if you observe, 53, the answer is going to be 1 gram lithium. Then comes 54. The rate constant of first order reaction is given. Time required to reduce 2 grams to 0.2 grams. Simple first order kinetics. We'll have the time t is equal to 2.303 upon k log of a upon a naught. So observe this part. This, if I put it up, it's a very simple and an easy calculation. Look at that. That directly comes over there as nothing but 500 seconds over there. Very direct, hardly any calculation as such. It's a very, very easy paper what you have. So for 54th, if I say answer over here, 54th, that answer is going to be 3. That's going to be 500 seconds. Then 55, correct order of increasing lower to higher. Field strength of ligands. Okay, now if you see the field strength of ligands, that's going to be option A. SCN, that's a thiocyanato ion, then fluoride, C2O4 2-, that's oxalato, and last is cyanide. I'll just show you the order, what is there with respect to the ligands. Look at this part, that's the order. Iodide, less than bromide, I've circled that, that's a thiocyanato, then chloride, sulfide, fluoride, hydroxyl, oxalato, water, then it is NCS, that's nothing but isocyanate, means you have over there, how we have thiocyanato, we have isothiocyanate. Then we have over there nothing but EDTA, that's ethylene diamine tetraacetate ions. Then ammonia, ene is ethylene diamine, cyanide, and carbonyl. So that's the order part. So with respect to this, if I have to say, 55 answer will be 1. Then comes 56. That's a mixture of nitrogen gas and argon gas in a cylinder containing these weights. Then the total pressure is given. They want the partial pressure of nitrogen. Now everyone, partial pressure of any component is what? Total pressure multiplied by its mole fraction. Very easy one. Let's see this part. So 56, if I have to say, then this is what the calculation goes. N is number of moles, which is given mass upon molar mass. So calculate the number of moles of both nitrogen gas and argon. Add the total moles. Calculate the mole fraction of nitrogen. That is moles of nitrogen upon total moles. Then mole fraction formula. Partial pressure of any component. Total pressure into its mole fraction. So that answer is 15 bar. So observe this part. So this answer, if I have to do, answer is 3. So 56, answer is 3. That's 15 bar. Then moving next now. 57th one, measuring the zeta potential used in determining the property of which colloid. Now zeta potential, when I'm talking over there, that's nothing but what is used to observe is nothing but, that's the stability of the colloidal solution. All right, because it's a method of measuring its electrode potential. So that's the zeta potential, that is stability of colloid. Then comes 58, sucrose, that's a disaccharide. Disaccharide on sucrose on hydrolysis gives, there's a glycosidic bond between the C1 of alpha D glucose and C2 of beta D fructose. So 58, answer will be 3 over there. That's one. Then next comes, find the solubility of nickel hydroxide in 0.1 molar NaOH. Given that, now here there's a correction please. The ionic product of nickel hydroxide is not 2 into 10 raised to minus 13. It's 2 into 10 raised to minus 15. Okay, so that's the correction over there. I'll show you what the solution is. It's a very easy and a direct one. See this. Look at that. Ionic product, that's nothing but nickel ions and the OH ions. Ionic product is nothing but the nickel ions and OH ions raised to 2 because they are 2. Now nickel ions is S, OH ions is S plus 0.1. Where does this 0.1 come from? This 0.1 what we are having is from 0.1 molar NaOH. Okay, that's the 0.1. Now, as the value of KSP, ionic product is 10 raised to minus 15. So the KSP is going to be very small. So S plus 0.1 can be taken as 0.1. So the ionic product 2 into 10 raised to minus 15 is S, that's of nickel, into 0.1 the whole square. So that's why the solubility S is 2 into 10 raised to minus 13. For your information, this is a solved in-text question in the NCERT. Please understand the gist of what I'm trying to talk. It is a solved example if you open up ionic equilibria at NCERT. Okay. is the solve in-text questions. So here it's 2 into 10 raised to minus 13. So that part if I observe, so 59, that option is 1. Then comes next, over there, what we have as the 60th one, the mixture which shows positive deviation. Now, positive deviation of Raoult's law. Now, what exactly is the meaning of the word positive deviation? The solute-solvent interactions are weaker as compared to solute-solute and solvent-solvent. So that answer, if I say, that's going to be ethanol and acetone. Why? Because when you mix ethanol with acetone, acetone goes and occupies the voids, the in-between spaces of ethanol. Thereby, it breaks the hydrogen bonding. So if the hydrogen bond breaks, both ethanol and acetone vapors will come together on the surface. That's what we have as a positive deviation. So that's why 60th is 1. Then 61, which does not exist. Very easy question. Answer is He2. Observe this now. Ethanol, acetone I have given about the part. Now look at this part. Very simple. He2, helium, atomic number 2 over there. So if I take He2, then it's going to be sigma 1s2 and sigma asterisk 1s2. So if I calculate the bond order, that comes as 0. Bond order 0 or negative, the molecule does not exist. In fact, this confirms all inert gases are monoatomic. So for the 61st one, answer is 1. Then coming to 62 over there, it says, identify the incorrect statement. Observe this carefully, okay? Now it says chromium 2 plus is a stronger reducing agent than Fe. That's correct. How do we know? If anybody has read the NCERT properly, it says chromium 2 plus. If you observe the reduction potential, it's higher as compared to that of Fe2 plus. So if over there, reduction potential is lower of chromium 2 plus ions than Fe2 plus. Fe, we all know it's minus 0.44. Chromium, if I'm not wrong, is minus 0.91. So it's way down. So that's why Cr2 plus, lower the SRP, stronger the reducing agent. So the first statement, what we have, that's a correct statement. So it's a true statement. Then it says second one, transition are known for their catalytic activity due to multiple oxidation states. That's true. Then interstitial compounds are those that are formed with small atoms. That is also true. And it says last one. Now in CrO4 minus, that's a chromate ion. So here if I have to do minus 2 into 4, then this minus 8, chromium is in plus 6. And here dichromate, the 2 chromium are in plus 12. They are saying they are not the same. Is this clear over there? Now the oxygen state, if I observe over there, okay, each chromium is in plus 6 only. All right, so that's the incorrect statement. So if I have to see for 62, then for 62, answer is going to be 4 there. Okay, observe here. I've given the E0 value, look at that. Chromium 2 plus, that's minus 0.91, and Fe2 plus is minus 0.41. So that's why we say Cr2 plus, lower the SRP, stronger the reducing agent. Then, next we have 63. Which of the following is a basic amino acid? This is with respect to the proteins part. So here when I say basic, it's lysine because the rest 3, serine, alanine, and tyrosine, all are neutral amino acids. Okay, so that's one. Then, next we have over here, 64. Element has BCC, body-centered cubic structure. They have given the edge length, they want the atomic radii. Now atomic radii, that's nothing but R is root 3 by 4 A. So that's a very direct one, nothing to solve. You can't have a simpler question than this. It is direct one, okay? So this one over there is nothing but 1. So 64 is 1 there. Then comes hydrous of sucrose. This is also a throwaway question. Nothing to calculate, just put the formula. Sucrose is hydrolysis is given, equilibrium constant is given. They want delta G naught. Now what is the formula for delta G naught? Minus RT ln K. R is 8.314, temperature is 300, ln they have given the K value. ln 2 into 10 raised to 30. So that's nothing but answer. Again is answer A there. So observe this. BCC, what I just told you, except lysine all are neutral. BCCR is root 3 by 4A. And this is the formula for delta G part. So just directly we put it up over there. Okay, so that's 65. Then, sorry, over here. All right. Then look at that, 66th one. It says, which of the following is a natural polymer? Now this natural polymer, when I'm talking, that's going to be A. cis 1,4-polyisoprene. Reason, that's natural rubber that's contain the isoprene units over there. So that's the part over there. Okay, so that's 66, where for which we can talk it like this. Natural number, that's a linear polymer of isoprene. That's 2-methyl buta 1,3-diene, also called cis 1,4-polyisoprene. Okay, that's 166. Then comes 67. It says third butyl carbocation is more stable than secondary. Answer is hyperconjugation. Third butyl will have 9 hyperconjugating structures, whereas secondary butyl carbocation, if I have to see, okay, then that will have only 5. 3 on one side, 2 on the other side. So hyperconjugation explains the stability. 68. Increase in concentration of reactants of a reaction leads to change in. That's nothing but, so here the answer is 67 was 4. 68 is also 4. That's collision frequency. Concentration of reactants will increase, so probability of them having collisions will be more. So the collision frequency will increase. And if they achieve a required amount of temperature, that's what we call that activation energy is achieved, then yes, they will get converted into its products. So 68 is 4. Look at this. Increase in concentration of reactants leads to change in collision frequency. If concentration of reactants will increase, rate of reaction will increase, and that will lead to more collisions. That's one. Then, the next one there, 69, which of the following is not correct about carbon monoxide? It formed carboxyhemoglobin, that's true over there. They've said the word not correct. It reduces oxygen carrying ability, that's true. In fact, this was a direct question for bio people. Then the carboxyhemoglobin, it says, is less stable, that's wrong. It's in fact 300 times more stable. Is this clear? So that's the false statement. So 69 over there, answer is 3. And it says it produced due to incomplete combustion. That's correct. Carbon on complete combustion will give carbon dioxide. So incomplete combustion is true. So last statement is also true. So 69 is 3. Then moving next. Yeah, look at that. 70th. Anisole on cleavage with HI gives. Now, with 1 mole of HI, it's an SN2 mechanism. Lower forms the iodide. So lower forms the iodide over there. So for 70th, straight away, answer will be A over there. Lower is methyl. So over there, methyl is what will form its iodide over there. So if methyl forms the iodide and the other part, phenyl will form its phenol over there. So it will be methyl iodide and it will be phenol there. So 70th is 1. So here in this case, 69, 3 is false. Carboxyhemoglobin 300 times more stable and lower forms the iodide. That's one part. Then this was again a throwaway question over here. Which of the following will give carbylamine reaction? Carbylamine test is mainly for primary amines. So there's only one primary amine group, that is NH2. So 71 is 1 there. Okay. So here now we discussed all the, yeah, 6, this part is over. Yeah, okay. 71. Now coming to 72. Observe here. It says identify the incorrect math. This was a little difficult or a tricky one. You had to read the NCERT very well. This was a table about the elements where Z is above 100, where here if you observe the wrong answer, if I have to tell you, and that wrong answer is nothing but D Delhi over there. That's 4. That is D will be 4 over there. Now what is the part if you observe in this case? In this case, if you observe, they have said Neum over there is nothing but dam stadium. Actually, it's Ronchium. Is this clear if you recall? So here, this is the false one, where we say that's atomic number 11. That's Ronchium over there. That would be the correct answer. All right. That's one. So again, the word to catch, incorrect. The next, electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid using platinum electrode. The products at anode will be. Now using platinum electrodes, we'll have selective discharge. So it's water. So it's going to give us oxygen gas at the anode over there. So it's water which will get oxidized. Observe this reaction. It is this reaction. What is given over there? At anode, 2 water will give oxygen gas. All right. So that's 173. Then next, 74. This was again very simple. Alkene on ozonolysis gives methanol. That's formaldehyde. Now formaldehyde means you just catch the group which has a double bond CH2. That's all. So it's blind. That's going to be 74 is 3. How? I'll show you this. See here. Those who are not clear with this part, observe this now. Look at this. Here there's a double bond. So the double bond ozone comes. So one will come between and two will come across. Okay. Just look at the structure for 74R. And when we break it, this part, I'll just show you with a different color there so that you get an idea. This part, CH2O, is what goes out as formaldehyde. So double bond CH2 was only in one option. That's methanol. Okay. Then, so 74, that's one. Then 75. All right. Reaction between acetone and methyl magnesium bromide over there. Now acetone is a ketone. Acetone is made up of 3 carbon atoms. Methyl magnesium is 1. 3 plus 1, 4. Tertiary alcohol with 4. Only 1. Third butyl alcohol. So 75 is 3. Then 76. The calculated spin only magnetic moment. What is the formula for only spin magnetic moment? Mu is equal to root of n into n plus 2. So this if I do, chromium, atomic number 24, argon 4s1 3d5, 6 unpaired electrons. So if 2 will go, Cr2 plus, it will be 3d4. So root of 4 into 4 plus 2, that's basically root of 24. So close to basically option 2 there. That's nothing but 4.9 because root 25 is 5. Clear? Observe this. 75, I've just played with the carbon atom. You have 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 4. So it gives a tertiary alcohol with 4. That's third butyl alcohol. Then the next we have down chromium. This was the part root 24 because Cr2 plus is 3d4. Okay. All right. Then 77, reaction between benzaldehyde and acetophenone. See the way now they have given in the question only the answer with dilute NaOH. Now with dilute NaOH, we all know that's 10% NaOH. So two separate an aldehyde and a ketone over there. All right. So in this case, this is going to be nothing but cross aldol condensation. So 77 is 4 over there. Then 78, which of the following oxo acids contain OO linkage? Now this, if you observe, there's only one. That's option 3. Per-oxo disulfuric acid. Per-oxo, one peroxide bond. So if I take sulfuric acid, HO, S double bond O, then there's a peroxide bond. And again on this side also, we have a sulfuric acid. So this is a peroxide bond. So per-oxo disulfuric acid. So 78 is 3. I've explained it over here. Cross aldol. Look at that. Per-oxo disulfuric acid. Okay. Yes. Then moving on. Next part now. 79. It says which of the following molecules will have zero dipole moment. Dipole moment is a vector quantity, so where it gets cancelled. So in this case, if you observe for the 79th one, that's option 4. BF3, sum of its 120 degrees sp2 hybridized, sum of any two dipole will be equal and opposite to the third one. Beryllium difluoride, it's linear, 180 degrees, so they get cancelled. Carbon dioxide, sp hybridized, that's going to be also, beryllium difluoride was also sp, carbon dioxide also sp, so both in opposite, so gets cancelled. And 1,4-dichlorobenzene, the 2 chlorine atoms are at para position, so they will also get cancelled out. That'll be this one. I'll just show you the structures here. Observe this. BF3, beryllium difluoride, carbon dioxide, and 1,4-dichlorobenzene. That's one. Then 80th one, number of protons. This was also so easy over there. 80th, that answer is gonna be 1 there because neutron number will be 175 minus 71. That's gonna be 104. And they have said that word respectively. So first protons, then neutrons, then electrons. Okay, so that's 80th one. Then coming to 81. All right, look at that, 81, what it says. Identify the correct statement. So there was a lot of theoretical part asked in today's paper. It says CO2 gas is a good refrigerant. That's a false statement. Why? We all know dry ice, solid carbon dioxide is a good refrigerant, not carbon dioxide gas. So it's false. Second, carbon 60 contains 12 6-membered and 25 membered. This is also false. If anybody's read the line properly for fullerenes, it's ulta. Okay, it's gonna have over there nothing but 26 membered and 12 5-membered. Third one, it says ZSM5 is a zeolite. That's to convert alcohols to gasoline. Yes, that's a true one. And carbon monoxide is colorless and an odorless gas. So in this case, the correct one are only two, that is C and D for 81. See this part. 80th I've calculated. Then I've said dry ice. Fullerenes has got 26 membered and 12 5-membered rings. That's the one. Okay. Then moving on next. Now the last 7-8 questions. We are done with this then. 82 now. Observe this part, what it says. Urea reacts with water to form compound A, which will decompose to form B. Now urea with water forms an intermediate where one ammonia goes and you have NH2COOH. It breaks down to give you further ammonia only. That ammonia reacts with cupric ions, ammonia, neutral monodentate ligand. So that combines with cupric ions to form option B over there. That's cupra ammonium ion. Or is this clear over there? Or I can call in the IUPAC name as tetraamine copper in a bracket Roman number 2 there. Okay, and the word to catch how it is, they have given that also to you in, if you see in the question, they have said that word, it forms a deep blue colored solution. So that's it. It's going to be cuprammonium ion. The next 83rd one, which is a cationic detergent. That's nothing but the third option. That's cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide. And then 84th one, it says for the reaction, 2 chlorine gaseous atoms is becoming a chlorine molecule. So compared to 2 chlorine gas, now it's only 1 Cl2 gas. So the gaseous species has decreased. In other words, the randomness has decreased. So delta S will be less than 0. Secondly, 2 chlorine atoms have become a chlorine molecule. So if atoms become molecules, we say molecule is more stable than the combining atoms. So molecule is associated with less energy. So less energy, so its delta H also will be less than 0 over there. So that for that, if you observe, 84, there's only one option. That's option 4. Okay. Observe this. This was the 82nd one, what I was talking. Have a look at it. Urea, you remove an ammonia molecule, you get an intermediate NH2COOH, which again gives ammonia, and that combines to give the complex. Coordination number is 4 because there are 4 ligands. Then comes 84, where 2 chlorine free atoms are becoming chlorine molecules, so entropy decreases, randomness decreases, and delta H also will be less. Then comes next what? After this, excuse me. All right. Now after 84, all right, come to the last part now. We have 85, identify the correct statement. Now observe this part carefully, okay? It says wrought iron is impure form with 4% carbon. That's false. Wrought iron is the purest form. So that's false. And blistered copper is blistered due to the appearance of CO2. False. It is due to sulfur dioxide gas. Then vapor phase refining is carried out for nickel by Van Arkel method. This is also false. It's carried out by, for nickel, it is by Mond process. Van Arkel is for zirconium. And last one, pig iron can be molded into a variety of shape. Yes, that's the line. These are all NCERT lines, very minute lines they have picked up and they have, reframed the questions here. So in this case, the correct one, there's only one. That's the 4th one. Okay. Then look at this part. Wrought iron is pure iron. Then I told you blister copper, that's why SO2. And vapor phase nickel is Mond process, where it forms tetracarbonyl nickel. That's NiCO4, which on heating will give me nickel plus 4 times carbon monoxide. That's one. Then 86th one, the correct option for, it says free expansion. Now free expansion is basically vacuum. Now in vacuum, external pressure P is 0. Second, work done is 0. Delta U is also 0. So in this case of free expansion, only one option makes sense. That's going to be option 1 there. The Q is 0. There's no change in temperature, as well as work done is also 0 because it's vacuum. Then, so look at this part for 86th. Free expansion, yes, what we call. Now, this was something much between the lines. You need to see this. Observe this now. HCl gas is passed through calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, and NaCl. Which of the following compound will crystallize? Answer is over here only NaCl. Now the question comes, why it's only NaCl? Because when I pass HCl gas, calcium chloride and magnesium chloride, they are more soluble, so they will stay inside, and only NaCl is the one that will crystallize out. Now this is the part which is given over there in the S block part with respect to NaCl. Observe this. This is exactly how it comes. Crude NaCl is dissolved in water and filtered to remove the insoluble impurities. The solution is saturated with HCl gas. Crystals of NaCl precipitate out, whereas calcium and magnesium chlorides being more soluble, they remain in the solution. Okay. So 87th, that was number 2. 88, what is the change in oxidation number for the following reaction? This was very easy. Here we say over here, if you observe, that's going to be option 3, -4 to +4, because in methane, always start, if you remember, with more electronegative. So carbon is more electronegative, En of 2.5 as compared to hydrogen, which is 2.1. So carbon over here will be -4, and CCl4, chlorine is more electronegative, En of 3 as compared to 2.5. So in that case, carbon becomes +4. So -4 to +4. Then, next one, 89th one, compound X. Observe this part now. Here we have toluene, and it's getting converted to benzaldehyde. On the arrow, it's chlorine with H nu. So that's a free radical reaction. So first one H will go, it will become benzyl chloride. One more H will go, it will form its intermediate. That is this compound, which is the answer, sorry, not this is the answer. 1 minute. It is not this one. It is this one, CHCl2. Second hydrogen goes. So when it becomes this compound over there, then if I react this with water, 2 moles of water, then the 2Cl will be basically remole of water molecule, and we will get respective benzaldehyde. So 89 is 3 there. Observe this part. This was 88, 89, look at that. First one H go, first over here, nothing but, we will say, one of the H replaced, we get benzyl chloride. One more H goes, we get benzene ring CHCl2 over here. And then with 2 moles of water, will form an unstable diol that will give me benzaldehyde. Okay. And last one, what we have, that's the question. That is paper chromatography. So paper chromatography, that's an example of nothing but partition chromatography. That's the part what is given in the basic principles part. All right. All right. I hope everyone that you will get a clear idea with respect to this, that what exactly how the paper was. It was just nothing but the lines of NCERT which have been picked up, and they have done it in such a way that they have picked up the lines in between the lines they have picked up, and they have reframed it over there. All right. Okay. Thank you. Bye everybody.